So this is where my mind's been at. You know what the issue is with me on some real shit as an artist? I think on one hand, when I first moved to LA, I was very, very busy because I work in film and film production. I'm talking 12 to 14-hour days every day in the middle of a pandemic where the world was ending. That was my life. But you know what my problem is, bro? I had a good chunk of time I spent in the movie industry. And that chunk of time always made me feel like I'm not doing enough in music. You know what I mean? Like I was putting a project out and everything, but now that all that's behind me to an extent, why do I feel so behind? Like I'm about to be 30, bro. Never gets good to hear that. And I think about the artists I look up to, and I'm literally in the age range where majority of them break through. I'm talking about all the legends that I really like. That's the lane I'm in. That's who I am. That's the only reason I'm so dedicated to music, because I'm here to go all the way. When I look at my career objectively and think about what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, I haven't done no groundwork in LA. Like I've done groundwork when I was in Maryland in terms of like going to shows, meeting artists, trying to get press coverage, trying to get some type of radio looks. Like I put effort into that. I ain't really succeeded in most of those fields outside of meeting cool artists and shit like that and engineers. But now that I'm here in LA, I feel like I spent so much time in another business that I didn't really do no groundwork locally. And now that I'm here, and now that I'm at a point where I feel like, oh, now's the time to do that, something's kind of holding me back. Like I feel hesitant to it. And I'm trying to figure out what it is. I think on one hand, it's partially a fear of rejection deep down. Just because I think I'm holding on to so much with so little to show for it that it feels fragile. So I'm trying to protect it low key. And it's like, I'd rather just stay on some internet shit and get the momentum that way. But it's like, one hand washes the other kind of. They're connected in a way. You know what I mean? You got to be outside to make it in music. You can blow online. You really can. You can. But you still got to do groundwork to build, to network, to have an infrastructure, to make things, wash, rinse, repeat in terms of the creation process and the infrastructure of how you build it. I think what I've realized in catching myself hesitate to kind of put myself out there more locally in this big city and shit like that is that I'm realizing the internal work that isn't finished. Ooh, I feel that. I feel like if I was a preacher, I'd have an organ going right now. I'm realizing the internal work that isn't finished. And I mean literally from the music not being where I want it to be, feeling like I'm readily accessible to keep things going, the momentum, the consistency of just me by myself in a room, making shit happen. You know what I mean? That isn't a full hamster wheel of consistency and motion that I want it to be yet. So that way I can put myself out there to involve myself with other people. And that's what's really holding me back. Sometimes as an artist, your biggest problem ain't the world. It ain't the industry. It ain't money. It ain't a marketing plan. It ain't a feature you don't got. It ain't a radio nigga that passed on your music or your mixtape or no shit. It's genuinely just you getting out of your own way and being consistent with who you are. And I'm saying that, knowing I'm posting on social media to other people, but I'm looking at me right now in this camera because I'm looking at my biggest problem.